Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Chisom Obiwuru, and I remember in my previous video I was talking about how I'm going to be sharing simple tips to actually level up in life. So this is one of them. This is actually the part two. If you haven't seen the part one, it was an intro video. You can go back to it. I'm very sorry about the lightning. Like it's like past 3 here. I'm in Scotland and the weather is quite crazy. So bear with me. I have like a wee I have a wee ring light just in front of me. And of course, I'm filming. So stay with me. Today's video I'm going to be talking about Beckham, most importantly, how he leveled up. I don't know if you saw the series that came up on Netflix, but that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So this is the part one. Look out for the part two in my subsequent videos. Okay, so we know I'm going to talk about this in actually in 7 dimensions. So firstly is the part of consistency. If we remember like vividly, like Pele tried to score, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, if it's Pele or Pele, I'm not sure. He couldn't score a hat-trick. But guess what? In 1996, he did it. I mean, Beckham did it. And most importantly, he was able to do this by being very consistent. If you did see that documentary, you will see how even as a child growing up, he was always training. He was always training. He was always training. He was always working on his craft. So with leveling up, you always have to be consistent. I know this is indirectly talking to me because most times, okay, I would not say most times, but for a while I've been quite busy with schoolwork. It's been so challenging managing schoolwork and then managing also trying to work and just my free time, of course. I like my free time. Anyway, the first point is just being consistent, right? You just have to be consistent with your craft, with your leveling up. If, for example, you are someone that wants to work on a goal, you have to be consistent no matter how small. So those tiny steps that you do take will help you. It helped David Beckham. All the while, all the years, the football star Pele, he couldn't score a hat trick. But guess what? David Beckham did it by being consistent with his training. And the result of it was that he was the only person at that time that could score a goal, a hat trick. Another aspect that was very distinct about that documentary was that David Beckham, he knew his strengths and his weaknesses, and he focused squarely on that. He knew that he wasn't perhaps very keen on being academic or focusing on academia or anything of that sort. He wasn't a very intelligent person, as per the video said. So he squarely focused playing football. So that's the thing with leveling up. The things that are not really your strengths, that you're not really very great in, you should actually work on it, but focus more on things that are your strengths. Because what's the point of it all if you're not really good at something? Although you might want to be good at it, but you have something that you are very, very good at, you can actually just focus on that rather than wasting time. That's the same thing David Beckham did. So he just focused squarely on playing football, and that was it. That was it. The third point I'd like to mention is that firstly, with leveling up, aside being consistent, aside knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, you have to be visible. Like people need to know that okay, something is going on in your life. There has been a transformation in your life. So the third point I'd like to mention, relating it to David Beckham's Netflix documentary, is that he was out there, and that's how Alex Ferguson was able to find him. You see, so in as much as in your own small space, you're trying to level up, be in your business, in the way you appear, in the way you carry yourself, or the way you relate with people, you need to be visible. Because when you're not visible, how will people know that there's transformation going on in your life? So you need to be visible because that's how Alex Ferguson was able to find Beckham. And because he was very good at what he was doing, it did stick out. Like they knew that he was very, very good with playing soccer. If he wasn't playing, if he wasn't showcasing his talent, definitely he wouldn't have been found. So that's the thing about leveling up. You just need to show up. Like show up, show up, show up. Right? So the fourth point is that aside being consistent, like the first point, aside all of those points I've mentioned, the fourth one would be that he was practicing. Also similar with being consistent, but also he was practicing free kicks, he was practicing throw-ins, he was just being focus on developing his craft. About leveling up is that once you begin to level up, people will actually see. Once you begin to change the way you see things, change the way you react to things, the way you actually talk about things, like people would see it. For example, in the documentary, his friend Gary was very supportive, right? because they saw the light. They saw that, oh, this guy is going to really, really do good. And they supported him. So that's the thing with level up. Once you begin to show up, once you begin to be a better person, then you will get support. But if you do not and you decide to stay behind the doors, no one will see you. You wouldn't even get that extra motivation from external people that you're actually doing well. So the fifth point is that during Beckham's career, like he got loads and loads and loads of sponsors. That's because he was out there. He was excellent. He was doing amazingly well, right? And he became a brand ambassador for various brands at that time, which was quite unusual because although there was like pop culture, but being a football person and being one of the top people at that time to actually get signings apart from football, but as a brand ambassador was just spot on. Just spot on, just to tell you how developing yourself, just to tell you how leveling up can actually bring so much opportunities for you if you stick to it, right? So the sixth point is about being disciplined. So I'm going to read from a particular quote that I saw, or rather I listened to from the Netflix documentary. It says that you have to discipline yourself because once you begin to play less than 100%, and then it spirals down to 80%, and then you disappear. That's so spot on. So actually, the seventh point I'm talking about at this moment would be about setting goals, setting targets. So for example, the year is coming to an end. What targets do you have for 2024? Relating it now to the documentary about Beckham, from the onstart, he always wanted to play for England, but at that time he was playing with Man United. But guess what? When he was at Man United, he wasn't underperforming. He was actually playing top level, right? While also having the aspiration to actually play for England. So when the opportunity came, he grabbed it. It's the same with leveling up. You just always have to be on top of your game. It's not going to be easy. It's never going to be just a walk by the park. But the thing is, once you're consistent, once you actually are disciplined, and once you decide to set a goal and work on it, it's actually possible. So I hope you enjoyed this summary about the first episode. The next episode, I'm going to be talking about that very soon. So stay tuned for it. Thank you once again. If you haven't liked my channel, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's free. Bye.